All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown Day, 431 by my count. So what's going on? What's going down? I have to comment on this. This just wild anti-Semitism. I believe it was a Pakistani actress. I think it was it's a million plus followers on Twitter. This Pakistani actress, due to the dust up in the Israel-Palestine area, Middle East conflict, the ongoing thing, she put out a tweet, and it's one of these things. So I want to grant people a little bit of leeway in the sense of, like, she, with millions of followers, doesn't actually manage her own Twitter account. She's got people. But the tweet that her account put out, I don't remember her name off the top, but that's not really the important part. The thing is that she put out a tweet quoting Hitler. Now, as far as I know, as far as it matters, that wasn't a real Hitler quote. Oh, get it, VW, get it. But the quote was something like, "I kept some of the Jews around so that you would know why I tried to kill all the Jews." I mean, that's probably I'll include the link if you think that I'm kidding or whatever. That's real. That is what it is. I feel like I had to address that because it's some of the most shocking. Again, I've sold fried chicken to the head of the Aryan nations, and that was sort of jaw-dropping to me. The audacity of the anti-Semitism of that tweet. It's still up, as far as I know. I mean, I just, yeah. Oof. But let's talk about Mad Max. Now, Mad Max is a movie, a series of movies, where driving, like I am now, on a highway, well, like I am now, becomes, as they said in the Road Warrior, that's Mad Max 2, if you didn't know. Mad Max 1 is before the collapse of civilization. Mad Max 2 is Road Warrior. Mad Max 3 is Beyond Thunderdome. Then you've got Mad Max Fury Road, which is kind of better than all of them, but only works because the other ones exist. Anyway, the Road Warrior. The highways became a white line nightmare. And there's you see the white line over there on the shoulder? Became a white line nightmare. I remember the Road Warrior. Ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. Google it, kids. So, civilization collapses. Everyone's driving around in cars. Machines are starting to... everything's starting to grind to a halt because we're not producing stuff anymore. And then in the Road Warrior, the gasoline station, the oil refinery, becomes encircled by the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, Lord Humongous, Lord of the Waste, that's his name, and his gang of, gasoline-fueled, marauders. And why does this matter? What are you talking about? Well, this, the gas crisis that's happening now, although nowhere near that scale. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to freak anybody out, man. But it is a gas crisis in I guess that's the southeast of the U.S. Apparently, gas prices in places like Arizona are actually tanking and going through the floor because they have all this gas and people aren't buying it. Now, I had to try to clarify this with some of my Twitter friends. What's the deal here? Like, why are prices skyrocketing? Why is there no gas available at the pumps in some of these southeastern states? And it's like, it's fair to trash Joe Biden and his administration for some of this, but also then not. So I want to saddle them with whatever is actually their responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just make up fake news and be like, oh, it rained and I'm wet and that's Joe Biden's fault. No, according to some of my Twitter peeps, some of whom live in the region, they're saying, no, the prices were spiking before all this, before this so-called hack of this pipeline. The hack of the pipeline didn't help, but it's not exactly Biden's fault that some people hacked a pipeline. But that's not necessarily what's happening. What's happening is people were starting to return to life as normal, life at per usual, and they started consuming more gas. And because they were consuming more gas, they ran out of gas in like Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, DC, that whole area. I think some of the other southern states, and I should say southeastern. I know it's south, but if south of me is like California and New Mexico, so when I say south, it doesn't feel right. Like Texas is, it's south, but it's like southeast of me. I don't know. Anyways, let's use our terminology. But so some of this gas crisis is because, in some sense, people are sort of hoarding fuel. I mean, which, it's why I'm talking about Mad Max. You run out of fuel, like, energy is everything. You run out of fuel, you run out of refrigeration, you run out of heating. In the modern era, you run out of cooling, like refrigeration, you run out of air conditioning. Old people, like, snuff it. And, there's a, what is the term? What is it? Energy, what is it called? What is it called? Come on. Heat, energy, weak force, strong force, gravity, mecha. Thank you for joining me for the Kyle Can't Think of Words program. Heat death. Like, there's a heat death issue with reality, right? It takes energy to do stuff, and we've grown wildly comfortable. Like, I mean, look at the traffic lights. Look at the brake lights on the car in front of me. Look at the brake lights on the car in front of me. Those are lit up because there's electrical energy running to those lights. The car has electrical energy because it has a battery. The battery is recharged by the fossil fuels in the gas tank. And that's why the car itself can have heat or air conditioning, power steering, headlights, dome light, adjustable seats. The electrical current running all of that stuff is, the electrical current running all that stuff is actually powered by gasoline. It's powered by fossil fuels. And first law of, what is the word? Ugh. What is the word? Like energy coming into a system. The sun powers the earth. God, why can't I think it's a very important term in physics and science and stuff. Wow. What is the term? Mechanics. Something mechanics? Oh, wow. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for staying with me in the Kyle can't remember things. Wow. No, but there's no way around. Look, there's an energy, it's not like an energy well. An energy well. It's like we have to consume a certain amount of energy, and then we've established civilization to basically a civilization consumes a certain amount of energy every day, and there's probably a way to calculate, like how many megajoules of heat energy we consume, or how many like megawatt or gigawatt hours of electricity we consume. There's a certain level of like kinetic energy. Like, I don't know, how do you measure kinetic energy? That's not joules, is it? But like we use a lot of stored energy in industrial civilization at a scale that it's beyond your house, it's beyond your car. It's like at a scale of just like backup diesel generators for buildings that consume gallons and gallons of diesel fuel, but they'll keep the lights on in an entire building until, the grid, quote unquote, goes back on. And I've spent some time on this issue because of our vulnerability to, energy scarcity and stuff. It is a problem, and literally right now you have people trying to fill up gas cans, at least in the southeast, like where there's this like regional scarcity sort of happening, and trying to get the liquid energy they need in the form of gasoline so that they keep driving and keep doing their thing. But it becomes politicized because the vulnerability of the vulnerability of this, specifically this liquid energy. I mean, we're not arguing about fusion reactors and nuclear reactors and where they are. We're arguing about like the administration and the refinement of fossil fuels and oil into gasoline, right? And so we import gasoline and other fossil fuels from like other countries. OPEC has had us over a barrel a couple of times, in the past, and it seems like we're kind of repeating a Carter administration thing, while at the same time, like, I said this, if a pipeline got hacked by some malicious hackers, which is what they're claiming, that's not Joe Biden's fault, right? That, like, literally anyone could do that kind of a thing at any time. However, they did it. Now we have a problem. Now what do we do about it? And the response from the administration has been pretty lackluster. I gotta tell you the truth. But yeah, it's not Biden's fault that some random hackers are trying to, hack our fuel pipelines. However, the response seems to have been well, we'll allow some people to do more fuel deliveries. And again, like my friends in the region are saying, yeah, no, it's because of like fuel truck drivers getting laid off due to the pandemic. Now we don't have a logistics, so we don't have the infrastructure to transport the fuel via truck the way we normally do, and that's why the scarcity is happening, because also people are going back to work. So they sort of overwhelmed the recovering system. And now, we have this fuel crisis. I mean, again, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Energy is everything. And Master Blaster runs Barter Town. And this is going to continue for a while. I have a bad feeling. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.